Hello, everyone. Today is Saturday, May the 4th, 2025, and welcome back to my channel. I'm using my phone now, which I don't normally do. I normally record on my laptop, so I'm getting oriented to where the camera lens actually is. So I hope I'm looking in the right place. Forgive me if I'm not. But today's message, today's conversation is all about combining life and business for fun and success. And that's really what this channel is all about. But as I do more and more videos, what I'm finding is that I think I'm noticing a little shift in what I'm comfortable doing, what topics I like to discuss the most, and what I think will be the most relevant and interesting here on the platform. So you can, of course, tell me what you think. But what I'm experiencing and what I really have a passion for is, of course, business and entrepreneurship. But this channel is not really going to be about like how to be successful in business and like how to like build an audience, like how to sell stuff. I have another channel for that, and we can talk about that later. But what this channel is more about is kind of behind the scenes. Like, what do you need to do behind the scenes to be successful in your business? And there's a whole lot of things that are strictly business related that you have to do in order to be successful in business. But in your personal life, you have to do a lot of things to build yourself up and to make yourself strong in order to run your business. And those things are kind of done in the dark, like they're done behind the scenes. They're done personally in your personal life, in your relationships. They're the things that aren't done in public, and they have to be done. Like if you don't do them, then you can't really perform in public, right? Things have to be done behind the scenes. And those things are often neglected. And I think the reason the reasons that they're neglected can be different based on each individual person. But I think that's why entrepreneurship sometimes leads to burnout, is because we neglect ourselves and we neglect what we need to do to take care of ourselves and build ourselves up. We're focused so much on making our businesses successful that we neglect ourselves. And we eventually hit a wall and we can't take care of ourselves or our businesses, so they both burn out. And unfortunately, the business world is littered with sad stories of entrepreneurs who have reached that burnout point at an extreme level, and they've unfortunately taken their lives. And we don't like to see that happen ever for any reason, but in the business world, we don't like to see it happen in businesses and for business leaders who have been so successful in their businesses and lost their way in their personal lives. And so, of course, I've read and heard about stories like that, unfortunately. And of course, I don't know all the details, and we never do know all the details, and we'll never find out all the details because the people who know the details are gone. But we do have hints of what happened. And one of those hints is that they've been super successful in their businesses and their personal lives have unfortunately not been tended to. So what I want to do is reverse that narrative. And whether you have a big business or a small business, I've been in business for 25 years and I've walked the path of not taking the greatest care of myself. And those days are gone. Like I take care of myself first and then I take care of my business. And so what I'd like this channel to be about, I think, is how to take care of yourself, period, whether you have a business or not. And especially as we age, like if you're over 50, taking care of yourself takes on a whole new meaning. And the great thing about being over 50 is your children, if you've ever had any, are probably either grown or almost grown. So you have the bandwidth and the margin to even take better and more consistent care of yourself, which is extra hard to do when your children are younger. So my children are grown. Parenting never ends. Of course, I'm still taking care of my children in many ways, and it's a pleasure and an honor and a privilege to do so. But how I take care of my children is very different now that they are over the age of 21 than it was when they were under the age of 21. So I have the benefit of being able to take even better care of myself now. So I want to talk about that on this channel. Are you over 50? Are you taking better care of yourself now than you ever have in the past? Are you under 50 and looking for new ways to take care of yourself? Because my statistics on my channel so far show that a lot of the audience, a lot of the people that have watched my videos so far are not 50 years old. So I'm happy to talk with you as well. So what I want to share is 10 ways to take good care of yourself and to monitor and track how you're taking care of yourself for fun and success in your life and in your business or in whatever work that you do. So I have a list here of 10 things that we're going to be tracking right here on this channel. Like, we have some homework to do, okay? We're going to track 10 things, and today I'm going to challenge you to create a benchmark for yourself. Like, here's where we're going to get started. And, you can use a piece of paper like this, or some people like to use planners, and some people like to use fancy trackers. We can talk about all that stuff later, but you can just start with a piece of paper and track these 10 things. You can track whatever you want, but 10 is a good number to start with. And these are easy things to track. And let's get started with what we're going to track starting today. I'm going to track these things. I'm going to report back to you how I'm tracking, what I'm tracking, so you can see my exact numbers, right? So you can see exactly what I'm doing. I have a good day, I have a bad day. I'm going to come back here and tell you about it, okay? So let me tell you what I'm going to be tracking. I'm going to track my daily steps. Now, traditional wisdom says 10,000 steps a day. So we're going to start with that. Now, if you want to start with 8,000 or 5,000 or 20,000, do you, boo, right? Do what's good for you. I'm going to start with 10,000, and we're going to see where that goes. If I'm exceeding that on a regular basis, I'm going to bump my minimum up. If I'm not, I'm going to bump it down. But I'm going to start with 10 because that's what traditionally is recommended by, I think it's the American Heart Association. 10,000 steps a day is a goal, okay? Then number 2 is going to be food tracking. I'm going to set a calorie goal for myself of no more than 2,000 calories a day. That's a good amount of calories. We're going to start with that. And we're going to break it down a little bit into micros and macros, but I'm not going to get into that today. We're just going to start with 2,000 calories maximum per day. That's what I'm starting with. What are you starting with? Tell me in the comments, okay? That's a lot of calories, by the way. But I'm not right now trying to lose weight. I'm just trying to maintain. But that's what I'm starting with, okay? 2,000 calories a day. And then exercise, okay? Exercise. Let's set a benchmark. You set yours, I'll set mine. I'm going to tell you what my benchmark is right now. It's 60 minutes of exercise per day. That's my benchmark. That's my goal. Doesn't have to be running around crazy exercise, blowing my cardio out of the water. I'm just going to start with 60. I'm going to track it on my Apple Watch. If I get to 60, I'm good. 60 minutes a day. All right. And I'm going to break that down later into weightlifting and cardio, but I'm not going to do that today. We're just going to start with 60 minutes of exercise per day. It could be walking a dog. It could be climbing a mountain, whatever it is, as long as it's 60 minutes. Okay. Blood pressure. Right. I'm going to monitor my blood pressure. I'm not going to check it every day, maybe 3 times a week. Okay. I'm going to report back on what the blood pressure is. My weight. All right. I used to weigh myself every single day. I haven't done that in a while, and I can tell I need to get back to it. Okay. I do not even have a scale right now, but I'm going to buy a scale this week. Do you have a recommendation for what scale to buy? Tell me if you do. I'm going to buy a scale this week. I'm going to weigh myself. But when I do a video tomorrow, I'm going to tell you the last time I weighed myself and what I weighed, because I didn't have time to look it up today and I don't remember. So I'm going to tell you what I weighed, and we're going to start with that. Okay. But we're going to do our weight. Now, a lot of people don't like to weigh themselves every day. Some people don't like to weigh themselves at all. I'm good with that. Do you? I'm going to do it, because if I don't, as I've learned over and over again in my own personal life, I lose track of it, and I need to track my weight. Like, I just need to do that, because doing it helps me stay healthy, and it helps me stay aware. And whatever we measure and are aware of, we have more control over. Like, that's just generally a truth about life. And I like to know what I weigh so I can track it. Okay. The next thing is cholesterol levels. And there's different types of cholesterol. We're not going to get into that today, but I'm going to track and measure my cholesterol levels. Not every day, obviously, you need a blood test for that, but I'm going to have a benchmark for that. For the last time I checked my cholesterol, and I have a physical coming up in the very near future, so I'm going to be tracking that. Water intake. Every single day, my goal is 100 ounces of water per day. Today, so far, I've had over 50 ounces of water. And as I record this video, it is close to 5 p.m. I got to get on it, right? I got to drink a lot more water to meet my goal today. So 100 ounces of water per day is my goal. Heart rate. I'm going to be measuring my heart rate. Generally speaking, I'm going to measure it a couple times a day. This is really easy to do with a lot of wearable trackers today. You don't have to do this, but I try to do like a minute of meditation a couple of times throughout the day. And by meditation, I just mean sort of sitting still, tracking my heart rate, and kind of making sure that it's at a reasonable rate. We'll talk about what that is recommended to be later. But I'm going to track my heart rate in an effort to keep it reasonably low, and not reasonably low, but just reasonable for my age and my weight and so forth throughout the day. So I don't have an elevated heart rate, unnecessarily elevated. And then also reading/learning, right? This can be by podcasting or by reading a book, reading a magazine, reading an educational article, taking a class. So reading/learning, right? Every day I want to learn something new. And then from time to time, I'll take like a class, like, maybe a 6-month class or a 1-month class or something like that. So learning something new every day. So I'm going to report to you what I'm learning. And I'm going to share with you the resources too. If I read it online, if I took a podcast class or whatever, I'm going to share it with you so you can follow along and learn with me. And if you want to buy the class or buy the book, I'll tell you all about that as well. And then last but not least, tech. Use of technology. Yesterday's video talked about the advantages of that as we age. Studies are starting to point out that incorporating technology into our lives on a regular basis, there's some evidence that it minimizes the chances that we will contract or have to deal with conditions such as Alzheimer's and dementia and so forth. So I love to be able to use technology in my life because there are ways to use technology to make your life easier, but also if it's healthy too. And I know technology can be used in unhealthy ways. I'm not talking about those ways. I'm talking the ways that we can use technology in a healthy way to enhance our lives. That is what I want to talk about on this channel. That's 10 things, okay? 10 things that we are going to monitor and track right here on this channel. Because listen, we have a lot of things to do in our lives. We have lots of projects, we have lots of goals, but our biggest and most important project is what? Us. Like it's us. It's to take care of ourselves, to monitor ourselves, to control our behavior, to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves, and nobody else is going to take care of us. We may have a partner, we have parents in our lives for certain times in our lives, we have children, we have siblings, we may have friends and so forth who care about us. And yes, they do take care of us. If we need to go to the doctors and we need a ride, we have to a medical procedure done where we can't drive ourselves because we're on some anesthesia or whatever. We have people who help take care of us. We do, and it's great. But nobody is responsible for taking care of us but us, ultimately. Nobody is. And you can pay people to take care of you. And obviously, as we age, and sometimes conditions in our lives require that other people take care of us. I realize that. I'm not talking about those situations. I'm talking about people like me who need help from time to time taking care of myself. That does happen. But at least right now, 99.9% of the time, I can take care of myself. And so I'm going to do that. And this channel is shifting a bit toward people like me who are able to do that, and who, wherever you are in your life, to the extent you are able to do that and you can join me and join together and support each other in doing that, and we can do that right here on this channel. So And that is kind of what a lifestyle CEO is. Like, and that's what this channel is called. Like, as you can see in the header, the lifestyle CEO. It's a person who's in control of their lives and their businesses or their work lives. Like, we control our lifestyles to the extent we are able to, and we control how we take care of ourselves, how we make a living. Like, we are in as much control of that as we can possibly be. And in order to maximize the ability to control that, we got to take care of ourselves. And that means taking care of ourselves, body, mind, and also spirit, right? So that's kind of where all these things fit together. So that's the list of 10 things, right? That's it. Let me go over them really quickly. Steps, like moving forward, like taking steps physically. Number of steps per day, 10,000, or whatever it is for you. I'm doing 10,000. Food intake, right? This is the types of food we eat. We're going to break it down into, macros and proteins and carbs and stuff like that later. But generally speaking, we're just talking about food and what we're eating. And we're starting with calorie intake. And I'm starting with 2,000. This is a lot, but I'm starting with that. Okay. I may lower it. Exercise, daily exercise. I'm starting with 60 minutes per day. Let's see what have I had so far today, by the way. I'll tell you what that is. Looking at my watch. I'm right now at, what can I see? Okay, here we go. I'm right now at 63 minutes. I'm already done for the day. Okay. Blood pressure, that's number 4. Weight, like how much you weigh. And you don't have to track it. I know there's a lot of controversy. Some people think we shouldn't track it. So don't track it, okay? You don't have to track it. I'm going to track it, okay? Weight, cholesterol, water intake, heart rate, reading, and technology. Is that 10? Let me just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, that's 10. I'm sticking to it. Now, I may add some more. Like, as we learn, we're always learning, right? We may add some. I may add some. I may take some away. If some of these aren't as important as I'm thinking they are today, I may take some away. But 10 is a good number. I don't want to be overwhelmed. I don't want to overwhelm you, and I don't want to overwhelm myself. But I think 10 is a pretty good number. Like, we all want to keep reading and learning, right? That should be easy to track. We all, we need to drink water. That's super easy to track. It shouldn't be hard to track that. We all need to walk. If you can walk, you need to walk. And if you can't, maybe there's another way, something else that you can track. And I realize that not everybody is able to actually walk. I realize that some people may be compromised in some way. Like, is there another thing that you can do? Like, how can I help you track something else that you might be able to do? Because I want you to feel welcome, and I want you to feel like there's some other physical activity that you can track. Like, help me know what that might be, and I want to help you track it, right? Because everybody's different, but we can all track progress in some way that helps us to improve somehow. Everyone can do that. So I want to be aware of that not everybody is in the same situation. Like, we're all in the same boat in this world, but we all paddle differently, right? So I want to embrace everyone that I possibly can, and teach me too, because I don't know everything. All I have is my experience, and that's all I have. So that's it. So one more time with the list, okay? Steps per day, food intake, exercise, blood pressure, weight, cholesterol, water intake, heart rate, reading and learning, however that is, and technology. I'm so excited about this, right? So lifestyle CEOs, we manage ourselves first so that we can then manage and plan out and design our best lifestyles, and then we can manage and design our best work lives, so we can be the CEO of our lives and our businesses and our work all at the same time. And the more we manage ourselves and the better we take care of ourselves as the ultimate project, the better we can take care of all of those other things as well in our lives. So I'm super excited to get started, and I'd love to know what your comments are and what you think in the comments below. All right, let's do this. Love your thoughts. I'll see you tomorrow.